Welcome to another episode of Ducks Base Podcast. We're recording this right after the conclusion of Oregon's 8-0 victory over the Nebraska Cornhuskers, clinching a spot in the championship game and a rematch against the UCLA Bruins we faced just a couple weeks ago. Um, we'll just talk through our thoughts of the tournament so far and kind of what we expect or think might happen out of the UCLA game tomorrow, especially in regards to pitching usage. Fox, you want to start us off?
Yeah, so Oregon played 2 games today. As I bet all of you know, Oregon basically had 2 very comfortable games where they just outpitched their opponent in both games, and the offense had a really good start compared to last year. Um, in the first game against Washington, Oregon wins 9-4. They get 2 RBI walked ins in the second. Uh, a homer in the third, a homer in the fifth, 2 homers in the fifth, 2 homers in the sixth, and then a single and a fly out to bring it to 9. They do give up uh, a grand slam in the ninth, uh, but the game was already very much out of reach. Uh, it goes from Scolari, who pitched 5 innings today, had 10 strikeouts, 2 walks, 4 hits on 95 pitches. Toby Twist comes in. He does give up 2 earned runs based on based on the homer in the ninth, but he goes 3 and a third for 60 pitches. Michael Mechna does give up the home run in the ninth, but does get out of it with 2/3 of an inning on 12 pitches. Oregon really does what they need to do, get the win on a very much disadvantaged position, um, as the game was delayed or at least 12 hours, and they managed to get the win, and then they had an immediate game like 12 hours, not 12 hours, like 9 hours later,
Oh, yeah.
following the
Yeah.
um following the UCLA USC game, which was crazy. UCLA blew the lead with their closer giving up. He didn't give up earned runs, but giving up his like some giving up just another weird performance where he just goes out and just gives up a bunch of hits, and multiple errors by UCLA allows um, USC to add 2, and then USC's closer, who just got extended, just gives up. He allows 2 on, gets Rutschalaski to fly out
Mm-hmm.
on a pitch way up, and then just gives up a meatball right down the middle to Luvu, who just deposits in the right field bleachers for a 3-run homer in the last out of the game. Um, yeah, and then lastly, Oregon just out pitches Nebraska. Only gives surrendering up 4 hits in the entire game, and that was just a wild, great performance by Oregon there. Looking at it, uh, Oregon, uh, they both teams strand 5, uh, 5 batters. Oregon had a really bad one early on in the game, but it didn't really matter overall. Um, yeah, Oregon batted 10 for 35 the entire game, getting 10 hits. Nebraska only allows 4 hits. Um, Looking at it right now, um, trying to see how many. Here, we can look at this way. Um, Nebraska overall had 3 walks and struck out 12 times overall in the game. They only had the 4 hits, and Oregon had a bunch more walks. Oh, actually, they had less walks. They had 1 less strikeout, but they did have 3 home runs, which was the big difference this year compared to last.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the starters were the name of the game really. Scolari tying his or exceeding his season high in strikeouts with 10 in 5 innings, and then Will Sanford absolutely shutting down Nebraska again was absolutely huge for obviously the team, but obviously bullpen usage as well. Given that we're playing 3 games in 3 days, um, with well now 2 games in 3 days, but or 3 games in 2 days. Holy crap! So it was huge to only have to use 4 guys in 2 games. Um, the offense is outpowered uh, Nebraska and Washington respectively. Brandon Jackson, 2 home runs, 1 in each game. Lalaki hit a absolute tank. Um,
And he missed another one where he hit, I think, one like if he had a little bit more launch angle, it was out, but he hit like a 110-mile-per-hour like
yeah,
single.
it was a seed off the wall, and it like landed right into the left fielder. Like it was perfectly ricocheted right into the left fielder's glove. Only able to muster out a single, only because of the insane exit velo. But yeah, I think Oregon gets that going. Obviously, they faced UCLA. We've been the only team to beat UCLA this year in conference
The
play.
second, the second
So,
team, Washington did have one
oh yeah, I forgot.
wild win.
Yeah, well, I forgot about that win. But up to the they're a really good team. Obviously we're a really good team as well, so I think definitely be a good game to see. Uh, I expect some fireworks, given how uh, the bench is cleared and it got chippy in the last series. Um, but yeah, I think I'll be excited for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, the big thing to see about Oregon is um, how will Oregon be able to use the fact that UCLA uses a lot more pitchers
Mm-hmm.
than Oregon. Um, Kenny, do you have the?
Yeah, I
The
got the numbers.
yeah.
So in Friday's game, their Friday night starter. Remember, uh, their ace Logan Redmond is still out with an injury. Is not expected to pitch until the NCAA tournament. So their Friday night starter went 3 1/3 with 59 pitches on Friday. They used 5 guys out of the pen. Ian May with 33 pitches in 2 1/3. Justin Lee went a third of an inning with 1 pitch. Uh, Cal Randall went 14 pitches in the inning, 12 pitches for Zach Strickland, and Easton Hawk went 20 in Friday's game. Their Saturday start, which I kind of thought was interesting, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. Um, their Saturday starter, Michael Barnett, goes 4 2/3, 86 pitches. And then their Sunday starter, Landon Stubb, comes in and goes an inning in the third, going 25. Justin Lee pitches in his second game in a row, throwing 21 pitches. Zach Strickland throws an inning in the third, 16, and Easton Hawk, who we touched on earlier, threw 26 pitches today. So I generally would assume Zach Strickland and Easton Hawk. I think those are two their more prominent relievers they use.
I think
I
Easton. I'm pretty certain Easton Hawk is done for the week.
yeah,
Um,
I think
I think Strickland theoretically could pitch
if they need
another
yeah if
another
they need
day.
him yeah
Um, Yeah, because Eastern Hawk would have to basically pitch 2 straight days, or 3 straight days of probably like 20 pitches a night,
Yeah.
which is likely not to be used. And Oregon's only real guy that's truly out is
Toby Twist.
Toby Twist due to the 31 pitches he pitched. Um, I think it's unlikely we see Tanner Bradley early on in the game to fill a role. Um, I would assume that he would come in basically in a similar situation that he did against UCLA last time,
Yeah.
with coming in if needed, like late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it isn't as many pitches as he did last time against
Yeah.
UCLA. I think the name of the game is still the same as we said before. You have to keep their offense in check, and you just have to keep scoring runs, because every team that's UCLA has looked vulnerable in a sense
Yes.
in the 2 games they've played. They're still by far the best team in this conference and is likely one of the top 2 teams in the nation, but they're not dominating the teams like they were earlier on in the year.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of hanging on and then using their great offense to bail them out of a lot of situations. Their pitching has largely struggled over the past day, and we'll see if that will continue. And I think it's likely going to be a combination of Gastola and Colin Clark again to try and figure out this UCLA lineup and try to get you at least, I'd say, 7, maybe 8 innings between the 2 of them, and then try to go
Yeah.
to Devin Bell and just hope that you have the lead at that point.
Yeah. I'd hope for Gustola to go 5 in a scenario. At least 5. Colin Clark gets an inning or 2 in, eats some innings up, and then the medium to high leverage arms. I would, I could see them using Devin Bell for 2 innings if it was going 5-2-2. Obviously, it depends on the scenario. They could just use someone else, Leo Ullman, Jonah Barkov, depending on the situation. Um, you know, I think I would say we're at an advantage pitching wise compared to UCLA. Obviously, UCLA's 2 best relievers are most likely out of commission. And it remains up in the air who will start for them. Could be Landon Stump again. It's possible. I've seen it in other conferences where they go one guy, one like an inning and a third, and then he pitches the next day as a normal start. So it's possible. I could also see them using their freshman phenom, Angel Cervantes as well. So it will be interesting to see what UCLA kind of trots out in the rotate. In regards to their pitching usage, I think theirs is a little more up in the air than kind of ours is.
Yeah, I think it's largely just going to be a big like wait and see moment. Especially in one game season. This is basically like a 1 game season. Both
Yes.
teams will basically use everybody that's physically able to pitch. So we'll see how it goes. If any starter gets in trouble early, they will just easily just throw in another pitcher to just fill the innings. There's no need to like try and eat innings
Yeah.
by any of it. It's mostly if Oregon needs to throw 9 pitchers like they did against Oregon State, and they think that's the best way that they're going to do it. I don't think so, but we'll see if that happens. But
Yeah.
looking at the game game time tomorrow. Have they announced the time yet?
Game time is noon Pacific tomorrow, so 2 p.m. Central Time. You want to check on the weather?
Yeah,
I
we'll
know that's
check.
been a subject of discussion.
Yeah, so we'll look up Omaha, Nebraska weather. It looks to be a nice sunny day tomorrow. 83, 83 degrees is the high, and it looks like they'll be fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, and there's only a slight chance of rain, like very late into the day.
Yeah, but probably not a big worry. But yeah, make sure to tune in for Oregon's finale in the championship against UCLA. Noon first pitch on Big Ten Network. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
We'll quickly just touch on the Field of 64.
Yep.
Early on today, D1 Baseball put out that Oregon was likely going to be at like the 17 seed. That means they would be going to Starkville, Mississippi to play Mississippi State. I believe it's likely that Oregon gets a host unless some crazy things happen. Primarily, that's because Arkansas did get. It wasn't really great day for Oregon's hosting chances, other than the 2 wins that they needed. The Kansas won the Big 12 tournament today, and Arkansas is in the SEC final, which will be happening tomorrow. So my belief is that both of them will at least get hosts. Oregon does have a theoretical boost against Nebraska, since Oregon does have the season series 3-1. If that's what it comes down to, Oregon does have an RPI advantage over most of the teams. A win, I believe, I don't know the exact numbers, but a playing just UCLA should get them over Mississippi State in RPI due to strength of schedule, since Mississippi State's not playing the rest of the conference tournament. So it's largely just going to be what the committee values. If they value DSR and all the other metrics, Oregon's kind of in a rough spot unless they beat UCLA. And if they use RPI, I think Oregon's pretty fine at this point.
Yeah. Obviously, take care of business, whether win or lose. I think just take care of business, and we'll let the dominoes fall where they may. I believe the NCAA announced, or the trend will be that the 16 host sites will be announced on social media at 8:30 Eastern, so 5:30 on the West Coast. So Paul, we'll be on our phones monitoring for that news, and we'll let you guys know as soon as we hear something. And then we'll be streaming, or at least recording, an episode on Monday for selection Monday. So keep an eye out for that. We'll probably drop that Monday afternoon, if not Tuesday morning. And then we'll go from there. As always, make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify, wherever you listen to this podcast. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Always a good time to interact with fans on either social platform. And we'll be putting out additional content throughout the rest of the week as well. With that being said, we'll see you guys back here for the next episode.